Hi again, friends. So in this segment, we're going to teach you some simple salads and dressings. And you know that dressings are the key to all of this. We got to get really cool about our dressings and making variety with salads.
Yep. So let's start off with a really simple dressing. We're going to make one of my favorites. This is a very worn and loved blender.
That's my blender.
This is Kris's blender that's been used for eons. Okay, so we're going to start off with a really simple recipe. And this is going to be, here is a miso citrus dressing. So it's 3 ingredients. Miso it's typically a grain or a bean paste. It's completely cooked. But it's basically a cooked grain or bean cooked down to a paste. They add Japanese culture called koji to it, and that makes it a little bit more digestible.
It's fermented. It's got a lot of bean-12 in it. It's really good for you.
Which is awesome. And white I like to use for like the sweeter dressings rather than red or brown. So I have some white miso, then I have some fresh orange juice, okay? I have some fresh orange juice in there.
Ooh.
And then we're gonna add some flax oil to it.
Flax oil we keep in the refrigerator.
Yep. And I'm just gonna blend that up. 3 ingredients. You can whisk this up as well, which is really nice. That's it.
How easy is that? That's
so
fantastic.
simple. And this is a nice real base dressing, okay? Now whenever I work with dressings, I work with different flavor profiles. So I have the fat, acid, sweet, and salt all in here. So those are the 4 components that you want to make sure is in every recipe.
Okay,
so,
wait. Fat, acid, sweet, and salt.
Yeah. So you have the fat being the
Oil.
flax oil. You have the
sweet
orange juice, and the white miso because it's a little sweet.
Yes, that's
the
true.
salt is
Miso.
the miso, and the acid
is
also
juice.
the orange juice. So there's some components that actually are have 2 flavors. So sweet and acid would be orange, like olives would be salt and fat. You know, so you can actually work with those a little bit. But when you have those 4 components, then you can actually start working from there and building up. So this is a great base recipe. You can make this in the beginning of the week, store it in your fridge, make a big batch of it, and then every day take it out and make a new one. So, for example, let's make more of a stir raw, okay, kind of sauce. So this is a really, really simple sort of take on a stir fry, but we're not cooking it. So I have the base sauce. So let's say you have a big batch of this. Take some out. I'm feeling Japanese or Chinese food. So I take it out and I'm going to go ahead and add some typical flavors. So we're going to add some ginger.
And maybe you might add cabbage, which I was asking about
Exactly.
earlier, right?
Yeah. And add some ginger in there. This is nicely peeled. Okay. Then we're going to add a little bit of soy sauce to it.
So we can keep building.
Yeah, you just keep building on the flavors a little. Now I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil. You can add just a pinch, just to give it that little kick of flavor.
And obviously you're just drizzling and using a little bit of this. You don't have to worry about, are you overdoing it with the oils or the salt? You're just using a little.
So I'm going to go ahead and blend that up, make sure the ginger's blended. Now, you can do this in any typical home blender as well. You don't need the Harley of all blenders to do this. So
Love the Vitamix.
The Vitamix is amazing. So then if you want to grab those vegetables over there.
Sure.
Okay. So what we have here is we have some nice, beautiful peas. Then we have some broccoli. We have some red bell pepper. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add some cilantro to that, some fresh cilantro to give it that nice burst of freshness in there. You can add some fresh basil as well. Add some fresh chili if you're really into that. I love cilantro, so I'm going to go ahead and toss that up a little bit. That would be great.
And Chad is so not conservative. Do you see how much you put in there? He doesn't measure. He just grabs and goes.
Let's actually make some noodles without the noodle.
What? How are you going to do that?
Okay, so we have a mandolin here. Okay, so I have a zucchini. I'm just going to slice paper thin.
Look at that. Those are noodles, my friends. Those are gluten-free, full of vitamins and minerals. You might even make obviously not with this dish, but you probably make a raw lasagna like nobody's business. Chad Sarno.
So let's go ahead and stack these. If you want to stack those up for me, that would be fantastic.
You want them just right on top of each other?
Yep. Now I was talking about variations. Now you can actually, let's say you're craving more of an Italian dressing. You can add sun-dried tomatoes to this, some garlic to it, some oregano. There's a great Italian dressing.
Fantastic.
Same thing if you wanted to go more, let's say Moroccan. You can add some cinnamon to it, some olives.
Okay,
which is awesome. Totally nuts. Okay, so they're all nice and stacked. Then I'm gonna go ahead and drag a knife down. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna make like a little linguine kind of size to this.
That's so cool.
And if you can just toss it all up all perfect and pretty. Why don't you go ahead and toss it up, and we'll plate it on the plate in a nice little pile. It's pretty, huh? So it folds up nicely, and it's beautiful color. Okay, and it gives a nice little texture of noodle. So, yeah, let's go ahead and add this. Add the sauce.
Oh, forget it.
Okay, forget about it.
Delicious.
That's beautiful right there. You gonna toss that up, Kris?
And people can also get, I think they're called spiralizers, right? If they want to make their pasta, they don't want to do it themselves. But if you get that one mandolin, then that's all you really need. That and a good knife.
Yeah, exactly.
This is so good.
And it has so much flavor. And you can let this sit. The nice thing about this is if you let it, you can make this ahead of time. You can make it the night before and just keep it in the fridge. And then it sits and softens. The salt actually breaks down the vegetables a little bit, so it actually softens them. So then we're just gonna serve this. And it's just a really nice stir raw, I call it.
That is so elegant.
So elegant, and it's all veg.
This is 100% raw too, so this is an amazing raw dish. How much? It just took us 5 minutes to make, really? Not even?
I know, huh? And there you have a stir raw.
Beautiful. So that last salad was absolutely delicious. What are we gonna make now, dear one?
All right, so we're gonna make again, it's all about dressing. So we're gonna make a creamy dressing. So that's a little creamy, that one that we made earlier, but we're gonna actually make a Caesar. This is one of my favorite dressings.
I miss Caesar salad since going plant strong. And you're gonna teach us how to make one without dairy.
Without dairy, without eggs, without anchovy. Okay, so we have some cashews. Cashews are amazing to get that creaminess. So, and I've soaked these in water. Okay, I've soaked them in water for a few hours. You can do it overnight as well. And this gives it the real nice creaminess. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and add some soaked cashews to the blender. And again, you can use a home blender for this. You don't need to have a fancy.
If folks are really busy, they don't have to soak them, or they really should?
It makes it easier to blend. Otherwise, it's gonna be slightly gritty.
I gotcha.
So, and you don't want to substitute cashew butter for it. Cashew butter is very oily, very pasty. When you soak them, it also infuses more with a little bit more water, plumps them up, but it also gives it a little bit more creamy than oily taste and texture. So, I'm gonna add some lemon, a little bit of lemon.
And this is what we were talking about earlier, when if you don't have time, you can just get some of that organic lemon.
Now, I have coconut vinegar. You ever use coconut vinegar?
No, stop
really,
it.
really nice.
Arrest yourself. That's crazy.
It's raw vinegar, but out of coconut water. And it doesn't have that much flavor. It's more like a rice vinegar. So It's a very light vinegar. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of vinegar. So you notice I have two acids in here. I have the lemon juice, being that sweetness, and then I'm also adding this vinegar to it. I'm gonna add some mustard. A little bit of mustard. Let's get a little mustard going on there.
I put mustard on anything.
I love mustard.
I eat my toes with mustard.
Love it.
It's disgusting.
Let's add some garlic, big old garlic in there. You want to put those dates for me?
Sure.
So dates it's a nice whole food sweetener. So just pull that pit right out. We're just going to add 2 of them in there, 2 whole dates. And now for that kind of sea flavor that Caesar has, I'm going to add kelp granules. Kelp is a seaweed, and kelp granules is a nice form of sodium as well, as you know. I'm going to go ahead and add kelp granules to it. You can skip this. You can add dulse instead. Many variations.
But that's like the trick to make it taste like Caesar.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. And the garlic. I'm going to add some nutritional yeast. Okay.
High in B12. Good source of B12.
Okay.
Do you want this other date?
Yep. And I'm going to actually get a little bit of water. Let's add a little bit of sodium to that.
What kind of sodium would you
like?
Salt. A little salt?
A little salt, little Himalayan salt. Okay, just gonna blend that up. There we have a nice dairy-free, plant-based, plant-strong Caesar dressing, okay? Now, let's go ahead and take some of this. You wanna rip that up, these beautiful romaine hearts?
Got you.
You can just
put them in the bowl?
Yep, rip that up, put it in the bowl. Now I like to add a little bit of dulse to this, whole leaf dulse to my Caesar. So I'm just going to take some whole leaf dulse and I'm just going to rip that up as well. And that you can add capers to this, which is nice.
Dulse is so
high
in minerals.
Some croutons to it. You can add some get your favorite gluten-free bread or cracker and crumble it up for that little crunch. Okay.
They also say that dulse is good for binding and removing radiation.
Oh, nice.
Who knew that? I did.
I did. Me. Okay, you want to stir that up?
Yes. Wow, that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Good?
Okay, yeah, that looks great. That looks great. So we're gonna go ahead and plate that up, and then we have a really nice, beautiful, crisp Caesar salad. And again, you can get your favorite crouton to top this.
You're gonna love this. It's so good. It's finger licking good, actually. Now what, my friend?
All right, so one of my favorite salads. We're actually gonna make the dressing with the salad.
Is it gonna be kale salad?
Yes.
Freaking love kale salad too.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. So we have some red kale, just my faves. We're gonna chop this up. I like to keep the stems, unless they're really, really thick on green kale. Then I'll take them out. But I like the stems, so I'm gonna go ahead and shred this up.
But he's chopping it really fine. It's like very thin.
So if you want to toss those in the bowl. All right. Okay, so now in that bowl, we're gonna go ahead and add some avocado.
Learned how to open that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can squeeze that out as I go. So in this one, I have a whole head of kale, and I have 1.5 avocados.
It's fun. Squeeze it.
Squeeze it out. Okay, I'm gonna use some red onion. Okay. Give it a nice dice. A beautiful dice in there. Okay, a little lemon juice. A little lemon juice in there. Make sure you catch the seeds.
Oh, that's good.
So, we are building base components. So what do we have? We have the fat.
We have fat. We have citrus, which is acid.
Yep.
We have onion, which is what?
Onion's extra.
Just extra.
So, you're gonna add some salt. Okay. A little salt.
I love it, salt. We just said salt this entire time.
And then if you want to, now this is one of the salads that you can't mix with a spoon. You want to roll your sleeves up.
Bring it.
Bring on, and just go ahead and massage away. So you're basically creaming the avocado. You're softening the kale as you do that. It's just that's it. Then you can start building flavors from it. You can add toasted pine nuts to it. You can add roasted peppers to it, like we used earlier. Any kind of herbs, garlic, ginger, sesame. Okay, love that kale. Love that kale.
And that's actually a really good point. When you're massaging your kale, you want to put love into it. Right? You
So-
won't be like yelling at people when you're massaging your kale.
Exactly. No, you definitely don't want to. There's only so much love that'll pass through a spoon, right?
That's true.
Okay, so while you're washing
Okay.
your hands, I am gonna go ahead and wrap this up. So this is great. This is a great salad just on its own. I love this with a little bit of quinoa, and that's it, you know, or just on its own. It's a delicious salad. You can grab your favorite gluten-free wrap. This is the way I like to eat it. And just wrap it up, and it's a great quick lunch. And I'm telling you, that avocado is so delicious with it. Let's wrap that up.
Oh, that looks good. I take this on the go with me all the time.
Let's make some for everybody else out there. If you're into tempeh or tofu, you have some sitting around, some roasted or some baked, you can throw that in there. Some hot sauce you can throw in there, some sprouts. And there you have kale salad wrap, or as is.
So, just recapping here, we've got our kale salad, as you just said. We've got this beautiful Caesar salad. What do we name this amazing one with the miso?
How about a stir raw? Let's do
Stir raw. That's
There you
right. It's
go.
the
There you
stir
go.
raw. Exactly. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And some simple salads for you.